Welcome back, everybody. Last podcast of the week. I'm extremely excited for this one. This man just gives off an incredibly positive vibe, and I can't wait to introduce him to you guys. My guest, please give it up for Ahmed Zaki Ahmed, also known as Sapateiro. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, guys, man. It's a pleasure to be here. It's nice to not be watching other people for a change.
There you go. To be part of it, man. The wave is coming to all of you, man. There's so many incredible people.
I'm a big fan, and I'm really happy for what you're doing. And it's about time that something like this comes out of this region, man. We got so much going on, and nobody's doing it. I don't get it.
Thank you, sir. But, thank you for saying that.
See that you took the reins, as they say, and you ran with it, man. And your podcast is fantastic, man. Just keep doing what you do, bro. We all love it.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Habibi. Thank you so much for that. You know what? Listen,
people expose. You're finally giving people a platform to expose the talent in the Middle East, man. And there's plenty of it, man. But nobody gives them time of day,
man, here's the thing. Like, it's people like you that we and you have never met before. But we have an instant connection because of jiu-jitsu. And this region, like you say, is so rich with people like yourself, like the people you train with and the people I've had on the podcast. Learning from one another is what's going to take this region even to the next level. And then you're going to see, man, North America, Europe is going to be looking at the Middle East and be like, damn, what the hell are those guys doing?
No, we the hub, man. We're going to be the hub.
Yes, I believe it.
It's the changing of the guards, as they say, the best is soon gonna be coming out of here, man. We have everything, man, to do it. We have the capabilities. We have the best instructors in the world, the best jiu-jitsu programs in the world.
Yes.
Where else are they teaching jiu-jitsu in school? Where else are they flying in the best people in the world to teach, man? It's just a matter of time where organically they will grow talent in the region, and they already have, man. Look. In jiu-jitsu, we've got some killers out there now. Faisal Kitbi, for example, and some other guys, man, who are just destroying it. In MMA now, we have Munir Lazaz, for example, the first. Who else
the world?
They're the first from the region.
Yes.
Dubai, I can't say Dubai raised, but grew up like pretty much for the better half of his life in Dubai, and come out now to be a UFC fighter, and went out and performed phenomenally and put Dubai, put Tunis, put all these countries on the map, and
that's very true.
Guys, give the guys a door, Now the Middle East can't be ignored. It can't be ignored, man. It can't be looked over, man.
Here's the thing, man. Like, you're talking about roots. People in the West now, they see Munir Lazaz and they hear about, like, what was his name? The kid Adam Bab. Adam Bab. And they think of it as some kind of.
It was funny. I was talking to him recently, because I've known Adam Bab since he was a little kid, and his dad James, bless him, awesome guy.
Okay.
And I was telling him, hey, Adam, man, you should start charging all these people.
He should.
You should be taking a purse from everyone.
He did better than most matchmakers.
UFC, People saying now, what do I gotta do to get in the UFC? Adam Bab.
Talk to Adam, man. But that's the thing. Like, most people in the West or Europe would look at it as just like a wasta move. Like a guy just got a chance and he did well. But man, Munir's been around forever. The guy's been teaching everybody that knows how to kick in the country.
Bro, let me tell you a funny story,
Please.
We go way back, me and Munir, like way back. Like, I remember the first day he walked into the gym, guys, Contender MMA, Tam Khan's gym, bless him. He was the first, by the way, to put on MMA programs. I remember his posters. I went to train jiu-jitsu as a white belt, and I saw this poster of this big, huge guy like smashing a guy and saying, "Come train MMA with Tam Khan." And
wow.
Man, that guy, like, I think he also doesn't get the recognition, for really being one of the pioneers of MMA, and
he really was.
Rio MMA All Out, Rio. It's, he provided the place,
yes,
for this to happen. There's a lot of people that we are thankful, but we don't really know what they did, you know. So
This
anyway,
is the
let me
thing.
get. I went a
We're
little
getting
bit
the
off topic.
record of it.
Yeah,
We're getting the
yeah.
record of
I
these
went a
people.
little bit off topic. I'm gonna go back. This
Ah,
guy
there's.
walks into the gym, you know,
Mhm.
maybe we can say close to about 10 years ago. Okay.
Okay.
And you know, we'd all been training, we all, you know, some of us had fights, some of us were jiu-jitsu guys, you know. So, and it was in the era of you know, where you can say too much testosterone was flowing
Okay.
in the air, because everyone's like, yeah, I'm a boxer, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, I'm this, and I can take this guy and that guy. So this guy walks into the gym, and you know, we train, everyone does the class, we do techniques, you know. So they told me, Ahmed, go spar with this guy, get in the cage, you know. And
Okay.
just gloves, mouth guards. We both didn't have shin pads.
Okay.
And that time I was fighting Muay Thai professionally. You know,
All
I'd
right.
had quite a lot of fights, so you know, I could stand my own. And man, the whooping I got from this guy.
Oh no.
And now he's in the UFC, Munir
Wow.
Lazar.
Wow. And how
First
many years
day.
ago was this? 10 years
Oh
ago.
man, I think like 10 years ago at least. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
just man, just the beating I got that day. Like
And
you know, it wasn't even like let's say like he intentionally like hurt me, but everything, like he's
yeah.
really the sniper. Like
Yeah.
everything
He's
was
sharp.
precise. He
Yeah.
hit me with a head kick that spun my head around, and he still
Wow.
doesn't like to admit it. But you did, Munir. You smashed me
Wow.
that day.
That's the thing. He's very humble and modest. 10 years ago, you fought him and he did that. How many years before that do
Not
you think he's
fought.
been
We didn't
training?
really fight. We
Ah,
sparred.
but
We were training.
sparred. Sorry.
Yeah, we
Sparred.
can't say fight because it really wasn't like.
Agreed.
Now you tell me fight this guy? No, man. No thanks,
Yeah.
man. I'm good.
Different story. But that time when you trained with him, how many years had he been training? Do you know?
I honestly, I don't know. I think he just come from Canada,
Okay.
and you could tell like he had a very strong kickboxing background. You know,
Wow.
very sharp with his hands, very sharp with his legs, the knees. He moved well.
Yes.
I remember Tam saying, "Man, you know, we were all having a conversation. Like, I think the second day, we were like, this is the future right there. Like
10 years ago.
that guy. This is the guy. You know." And I'm not here boasting you, Munir. I'm not here to. Don't think I'm getting like.
But this is high praise that you're saying because
you know, like I'm just talking. The guy was like the only guy I know that you come to the morning class like 7 a.m. He's there training. You
Yeah.
leave, you come back from work, and he's still there training.
Wow.
He wouldn't leave the gym. You know.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to find people like that. You know, and. I think now people are like, we're starting to slowly organically grow this talent in the Middle East, you know.
But you know what? Like I've seen that with my own two eyes about Munir, and I have to say my own special word of praise for him, and a word of note for people listening that are aspiring for MMA. A lot of people, they're like 1-2 years in and they're wondering why they're not getting fights. Man, Munir has been doing this for so long. Consistently, persistently, not like, wallah, I didn't get a fight, let me take a break. He's been doing this shit day in, day out for like 15 years plus.
Well, you know how hard it was to get fights back then, man?
Of course.
Like, I remember before he got his first fight, I think he had 4 opponents drop out, 4 or 5. There was a guy who literally dropped out on the show. He literally warming up backstage, ready to go out. They're like, sorry, your fight's off. Guy broke his foot in the warm-up area.
Hi. Gotta love it.
This is crazy, man. But yeah,
that's the fight game.
It's one of those stories, you know, just to let people know.
I get you, man. So let's start off with something on a different note before we get into like a little bit on your backstory. Sapateiro. So you're called official Sapateiro, and I see Ahmed Zapateiro Zaki. So how long have you had that title for yourself?
Pretty long time. Actually, there was a guy called Rodrigo Kelly who trains with us. He was the first one from Zapatero, because actually, there's a whole story to that as well. So actually, I was fighting Muay Thai professionally, right? And I think my last fighting with a very dodgy promotion, you know. I had cut down to 70 kilos to fight. I was ready to go. Week out, I get a call saying, "Hey, your opponent hurt his back. He can't fight anymore." Now, this was my last fight before I get a title fight, you know? So I said, okay, what can I do? You know, fights off, fights off. They call me 2 days later. They're like, no, we got another fight for you. You're going to fight for the belt at 76.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm like, okay, you know, I already started to, you can say, deflate, you know?
Oh, no. You started eating normally?
You know what, screw it. And my coaches told me, don't take the fight. It's not worth it. I said, no, I'm going to take the fight, you know?
Okay.
Get to the fight, guy. I weigh in at 76. Like at that time, I think, like I literally had to stuff myself to make, like I was floating around 76, 77 naturally that time, cutting to 70.
Okay.
Guy weighs in at 84 kilos.
Ooh.
84.
Ooh.
And he's the promotions guy. Yeah. So I told him he has to cut the weight. They're like, no, don't worry. We'll make sure he cuts the weight. You know, we'll make sure. And obviously these dodgy guys, you know. Anyway, so we fight. And the second round, I got an illegal knee. You know, I slipped. I had my hands on the ground. Boom, knee to the face. I'm out of it. Get back up. Try to fight the rest of the fight. Got hit one more time. I was out, and I was out like I'm talking a good minute. You know, not ashamed to admit it, man. It happened. You know, I got knocked out. I'm not making an excuse for the knockout. The guy was better than me. You know, heavier, better, whatever. So after that, I got told I can't fight for a while. I have to sit on the sidelines because the doctor told me that the knockout was so bad they had to check for concussions, any trauma to the brain, you know. Alhamdulillah, nothing, but still they said as a precautionary, like, you know, please sit out. I remember, like, I think I tried once to spar then and just got touched once, and I was like, you know. So I sit out. So then I came to the gym, and there was a guy teaching sambo in the next class.
Which gym are we talking about?
Oh, Dubai Karate Center. It's called Dubai Karate Center, man. I'm talking like,
you know, that's old school.
Years ago, bro. Like, that was the place where they were teaching Muay Thai. There was a guy there teaching sambo, actually Kudo, but he would teach sambo on the side to some guys. Kudo is like it's kind of an MMA, you know, but it's a specialized Japanese way. They have to wear a helmet. A lot of
it's MMA karate.
Yeah, karate MMA.
Yeah.
So he officially taught me like my first grappling. You know, like the first time I ever tried anything was sambo, and everything had something to do with leg locks. You know.
Ooh.
So I was learning leg locks from this guy, and I think after that, I remember he kind of went to another place and started teaching, and I started to get back into Muay Thai, but I was so fascinated by this grappling, how to make someone, you know, how to make someone say uncle, as you can say, you know?
Yeah. It's a special feeling.
Five, you know, bro, I'm not ashamed to admit it. There was a girl in the class who beat the hell out of me, man. You know, she was tapping me left and right, and I'm like, come on, man. I mean, from Canada days, we were learning wrestling in school, so I had a little bit of something in the background that I knew, but man, that was the day I fell in love, and I seeked it out, and I remember at that time I found like Amin Tuti. I don't know if you know who that is. He opened the Royce Gracie Academy in Dubai.
Okay.
Yeah, he was teaching jiu-jitsu. I didn't know any other place. That was literally like the first place that I'd found, like checking around. Hey, where can I learn jiu-jitsu? This jiu-jitsu thing that everyone's raving about. I want to grapple this. I found him. He was like a purple belt at the time, I think. And that's where it all started, you know. And I remember saying, hey, I learned this in sambo. And he's like, you can't use this. Not now. You can't use this now. When you're, you know, this is not allowed. That's not allowed, you know.
Very interesting, yes.
Okay, you know, I said, you know what? Like, when is it allowed? He said, when you're a brown belt. I said, okay, that's my goal. I have to get there, you know, so I can play my game. You know?
Wow.
And so
you didn't rely on footlocks until brown belt?
No,
or did you like...
I see... like I come from the martial arts background. You know, you have to, you know, check your ego at the door, go in with an open mind, ready to learn, you know. And this is what a lot of people forget, I think, is that every time you try something, you go in with an open mind, you know, go in and learn it their way. And then later on, you know, if you have something to add from your side, collaborate it or kind of bring it in your way without having to
I like that.
you know, to kind of step on toes, let's say, you know, and you know, it's good to learn, you know, I like this, for example, like George St. Pierre mentality, you know, he's always a student, you know, he says always a student. And people who go in with this open-minded mentality are always going to be the ones that progress, you know, the ones who come in with the ego and I'll always get so far, but that's it, you know. They reach a point where that's it, you know. So
I get you, man. But I think, like, you know, to add to what you're saying a little bit, I've been reading a lot about Zen and archery and a lot of these Japanese philosophies. And there's a big contrast between their philosophy of martial arts and what we've been conditioned recently. Like, everybody's in a hurry. Everybody wants things quickly. And when they feel, they're not even masters, but they feel that they know better than the master and that they have their own better path, they're just conditioned for speed, and they end up messing up their game. I respect what you're saying so much, just to trust the process, check your ego at the door, and just follow the path.
You said it. Trust the process. Trust the process. The problem is that this is such a deep and
let's dive
big subject. You know, we straight off the deep end into the pool. You know.
Yes.
We have to trust the process. And keep in mind, we have coaches, we have, let's say, masters in place. They're there. They're not there to bring us down, but to lift us up, you know. And to be honest with you, I can't say that all of them are like that. You know, unfortunately, there is going to be times where you meet not the right people, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, I tell my guys, be a sponge. Be a sponge, sponge everything, learn, take in whatever you can, you know, and this is the only way to progress, you know. And I keep telling you, I told a lot of people, like, slow down. Why, you know, why jump the hurdle if you don't know how to even take the step yet to jump the hurdle, you know? So, but you know, everyone has their own goals, let's say, and they assume that their plan of action is the right way. It's
assumptions.
Unfortunate that I think now, especially with everything that's going on in the world of even jiu-jitsu now, we saw it more in MMA, but now we're seeing it in jiu-jitsu. It's the bad guy, the one with the most trash talk, and the most you know, I don't care mentality is the one who assumes that they're going to be going somewhere, you know.
Now look, there's different sides to this coin that you're saying. Like, you're talking about Gordon Ryan in an extent, but
no, I love Gordon Ryan. I think Gordon Ryan is good for the sport. There's a difference when you talk ish and back it up, you know.
So there's Dylan Dennis on the other side, right?
People can sit and talk about Gordon Ryan all they want, but what have you done?
Yeah. But this is the point.
Gordon Ryan has gone out there and done it, and I think he's earned his right to say what he says, you know. But like, there's, as I said, there's two sides. The other side is that, is it good for the sport? Not necessarily, you know. Yeah. In terms of if in the process of learning and this and that, but as a competitor, if you let's say if you got what it takes like him, and I'm sure he's put in his time, he's put in his time, you know. It was only when he was confident in what he does that he started this whole you know,
career
persona, because I've heard actually from people that he's actually a super nice guy in real life, you know.
He is.
But there's a difference when you have a persona and you have the capacity and technique and everything to back it up, you know.
Yeah. No,
I mean, he's not a Dylan Dennis, for example, let's say.
that was actually like the point I wanted to make, which there's different layers to this. Gordon Ryan is an example of somebody that's at the tip of the iceberg in front of the world, but nobody recognizes and realizes how much work this guy puts in. I was following him since he had 1,000 followers, And he super nice guy. He didn't used to diss anybody. His posts were just Gordon loves jiu-jitsu, man. That's the name of his Instagram. How much more innocent would you like?
I think I remember seeing that when he was like quite he was young.
He was very young. Yeah.
Yeah. With like I think he had like bleached hair, blonde hair, right?
Yeah. He was as jiu-jitsu geek as it gets, lovey-dovey, nice guy, respect and oath to everybody. He has a tattoo of respect everyone on his arm. Like the guy doesn't really live like this.
I don't. You know what's funny is tell me one time we actually see Gordon. Like I don't know. This is from my perspective. Okay. I don't know if it is, but tell me when he's actually the one instigating the
fights.
The fights. I think I think a lot of times he's getting called out. You know.
Oh, but recently, oh my goodness, man, the guy's been
maybe
a tornado.
Maybe a little bit out of the scene, but man,
that's what I love about him, though.
I love that he goes out and he says, "I'm gonna do this," and he does it.
Yeah. But the contrast that you said was Dylan Dennis, which is a perfect contrast. The guy talks shit about everybody and can't fight anybody, and the most shit he talks is when he has an injury. That's when he really talks shit.
You know, I think Dylan Dennis is capable of really being a world champion. Honestly.
Yeah, sure. He has the foundation.
He has the foundation. His jiu-jitsu is great. Man, who else? Yeah, how many guys are training with Connor, man? Connor in itself, like to train with him is, I think, incredible. You know, the guy is super talented.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a difference between a Dylan Dennis and a Conor McGregor, for example, you know?
A huge difference,
Conor McGregor has put in his time, you know, and he's got the skill set, he's got everything, man. And he's been in the pits, he's fought any and everyone to get to a stage where he can choose who he wants to fight, you know,
and where he can talk shit.
Where he can, yeah. I think Dylan could get there if he maybe, but not now. You know,
I get you.
Like as I said, I'm not here to trash talk people.
I get you. No, really, but we're looking at it.
Everyone go up in the industry, you know. I call it an industry because it's a business now, man. It's an industry. It's not just a sport anymore, you know. It's this life, you know.
Yeah, but it's a slippery slope when it turns into an industry. This is where I want to highlight the fallacy that a lot of people make in jiu-jitsu. They see Gordon Ryan and they're like, man, he's just 24. He's only been training for 6 years. But when he says I've been training for 6 years, it's equivalent to a normal person's 12 years. The guy trains morning to night.
And if he's not on the mat, he's in the gym, he's doing a private, he's doing this, man, he's putting, you said it, man. It's like I'll give you another example. A Thai boxer who's training in, say, America versus a Thai boxer who's training in Thailand. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Where this guy might be training 3 hours a day, where this guy's training 6 hours a day and fighting twice, like once or twice a week or every other week.
Yes.
You know, it's the equivalent. So in that short period of time, that guy could be 100 times more accomplished and more, you know, on a higher level than this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I mean, it's the same with Gordon. I'm sure he's put in the amount of time that's equivalent to maybe, like I would say, my time of like more than like 13, 14 years of jiu-jitsu. He's probably done it in like 3 years or 4 years, you know?
Exactly, man. Exactly. And that always cracks me up. In like Thai fighters, their records are hilarious. Like everybody's like, I'm a 7-0 fighter. Another guy, I'm a 5-5. Thai fighters like, I'm a 520 and 400. You know, like
my old trainer was 740 or 50.
What is this fucking number? It's a telephone number.
And still fighting.
That's crazy.
30, 31, 32 years old. He's like, man, I'm old now. I'm gonna retire. Like finish. Just had like almost his 800th fight, probably. You know, it's
that's terrifying.
Us, we have 10, 20 fights, and we are like we think we are on another planet. You know,
not even, bro. You've got like 2-1 Instagram champions, right? These guys are like 500 and they're unknown.
Yeah, you know. At the end of the day, you do what you gotta do to make yourself feel better about yourself, man. You know, if it works for you, you know, sometimes people need to kind of boast and boost the ego to to feel good about themselves. And you know, props. Do you? You know.
There's
Don't hurt people in the process. See. There's one thing about me. I'm very. Let's say I'm a happy-go-lucky guy and I'm very positive. But at the end of the day, there's one thing I don't like is people who spread information that can hurt people. You know, especially the ill-informed or misinformed or uninformed. You know, the only time you'll ever see me ranting on Instagram is when people put out things that can really have a negative effect on society if taken like to heart, you know what I mean? So this is the only time I think that I tend to have a problem with things, you know. Bro, your volume went down again for some reason. Nothing. Someone's trying to sabotage you. I can start to hear you, but I think you need to raise it. No, now nothing. Little bit, very low. No problem. Take your time. I'm not going anywhere. See if it's.
All right, I reconnected. Can you hear me now? Okay. Shit, now I think he can hear me, but I can't hear him. Hold on, bro. I gotta love it. Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
It's all good, man. It's all love.
Perfect. Okay, I can hear you now. I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Keeps things exciting. No worries. Okay. So where were we?
Yeah, exactly. You said it.
You got a lot of
we dove off the deep end already.
Yeah, no, I'm with
crazy
you
things and
I wanted to tell you about like this whole Instagram thing. So I saw you off a post somebody shared on Instagram stories, and I started checking out your account. I'm like, damn, I like how real he's being. What you're saying is so true. Like, the dangerous people out there are the ones that are misinformed and the ones that are selling half-truths. Because we've got a lot of that, man. It's not just in the fitness and nutrition industry. It's in martial arts. It's in boxing, everything. If there is money to be made, it's in selling half-truths, right?
Yeah, correct.
So that is
very well said.
And what your posts do, like I saw you posted something about like people paleo, keto, all this stuff, but then it's just this calorie deficit, and they just sugarcoat it into a lot of things. And I like the way you approach things from a very pragmatic perspective.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We had a lag there, man. Sorry.
No worries. Are you okay? You can hear me fine?
Yeah, you're good. You hear me?
I hear you perfectly fine. I hope everybody can hear us on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about this. Happens.
No issues. You know. Yeah, tell me. Sorry, just if you can repeat what you just said.
I don't know how much you heard, so I'll just repeat it. What I was just saying is, I respect people.
You reached the point of something related. So you said something about a post online.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So all I was trying to say is that there's some people that can see through the bullshit. And for whatever reason, and it seems you've had enough life experience to see through the bullshit, you do. And it's refreshing to follow somebody on Instagram that shares real information with people versus the people that share half-truths so that they can sell their brand or whatever it might be.
The magic pill, I call it.
The magic pill.
The anecdote, the formula, the secret they discovered. Yeah.
You know? They just so happen to be the one human to discover it, yeah.
the one, doctors and scientists and dietitians and PhDs couldn't find it, but you found it, man. Props if they really did find it, but man,
Unlikely.
you know, why I see through the bullshit, because I lived it, man. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I'm not gonna, I was the one who was always looking for the quick way to lose weight, to gain muscle, to
Yes.
perform. Alhamdulillah, not never like steroids or anything like that,
Yes.
but if there was a bloody I can keep my cussing mild a little bit, or it's better not to at all. What do you
As you like, man. Whatever you want to use to express your thoughts, man.
If there was like shitting tea you can take that would boost your metabolism, I would drink
Yeah.
that shitting tea and spend half a day on the toilet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I get you.
there was some secret plant that they discovered in the middle of the Amazonian forest that they managed to bring back and make into a pill in a concentrated form because it's gonna put your performance through the roof. I was the guy who tried it. You know what I mean?
I remember that phase, man. Ahmed, I remember that, like the on the TV, those commercials that come up with this magic pill, the magic herb. It was all over the place for a while.
Like an infomercial, people just trying to sell the BS.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went through all
I
of
grew
that.
up in Canada, bro. We had the channel.
Ooh, man. Where did you grow
all
up, by the
day,
way?
Huh?
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Canada, in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Halifax, nice. Okay, cool. So I have family in Montreal, Quebec.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
A little bit far.
yeah, a little bit, just a little bit.
But Montreal is awesome place, man. It's
booming
party
with
town.
Martial arts too.
It's very yeah. You have George St. Pierre there, and
yeah, he started it for everybody, man.
Sorry.
Okay, so let's take a few steps back so we can understand where you come from. You started martial arts in Dubai, not in Canada.
No, I started martial arts in Canada.
Okay.
I did the whole, kung fu flicks and all that. It was in my era.
Okay.
So I started with the taekwondo and kung fu, and
okay.
I really loved it, and I learned all the crazy animal styles and all that.
Yeah.
And then, like I would like to say one thing about that was I honestly think a lot of my discipline and my open-mindedness, let's say, and the whole teacher instructor, like be a student thing came from that, where I think in kung fu and taekwondo and even karate, when I was learning that, like it was very important to respect the teacher always, no matter what. You come into the class, you have to bow, you have to give your respect to the instructor. He tells you when to enter, when to leave, and I think this is really attributed to kind of my lifestyle, not in the sense of just respect, but also discipline, because those things they were very disciplined, and sometimes they forced you to push your body beyond the limit. But because of the discipline and let's say the mind that I don't want to upset my instructor or be looked down upon kind of attributes to that, to that progress, let's say. And I have to thank those martial arts actually for teaching me
interesting
the humbleness, the discipline, the correct way to respect people and to respect others. Although a lot of those martial arts now are not really, I mean, like you can say kind of looked down upon since the MMA bad boy era,
Sure.
In some sense, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I just wish I could see more of that in the MMA world and in the jiu-jitsu world, because I think the jiu-jitsu world has a lot of that. This is what I loved is I kind of felt the same that I felt when I was training like kung fu and karate. The whole, like, you have to respect your coach, respect your sensei, you have to respect the art, you have to bow, you don't call out the bigger belts. The bigger belts call you out, you know what I mean? It's a good structure, and a structure of discipline, of self-humbleness and self-awareness as well, you know, be aware of yourself, your capabilities, and to be aware of what you put out to the world and put out to the people around you, you know.
Yes.
And I think I would love to see more of that, you know, more of that now, kind of go towards the MMA. I think Georges St. Pierre was probably one of the best guys to kind of bring that attribute
represent
to MMA. But after that, you know, who else is there? You know,
in that sense of the
encouraging
traditional...
you to talk, you know, and to be to make money,
Sure.
you know. Yeah, but sorry, once again, I think we started a subject and we went to totally...
No. I get you, because I like the approach of the pure martial artist, because I see combat sports as something separate from martial arts.
Yes.
Martial arts comes with a philosophy, with thousands of years of history that you would be missing out if you don't experience it, like what you're saying. The discipline, the respect, the relationship between student and master, it cannot be a financial exchange. It cannot be, I pay you, teach me technique, buy. It has to have more than that.
Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, you know, I've seen a lot of places, like luckily, I think I've been blessed with, even in jiu-jitsu, I've had some people that really, you know, I'm so thankful for, you know, that I've had in my life from the beginning till the end, you know, everyone from Carlos Santos to Suyan to Olavo, all the way to then I had a long time training with Eduardo Alexandre Machado, and
nice.
then I moved to Team Nogueira Dubai and had been blessed to have an awesome, phenomenal coach, Rafael, you know, who...
Incredible coach.
Really, you know, he made us like at one point we were an army of destroyers, you know, going out there just destroying everyone, you know, and it was with the discipline, with all the hard work and commitment he put into the team. So luckily I can say I've been blessed with a awesome jiu-jitsu journey. You know, I've seen the ups and downs of it, but luckily I've always managed to surround myself with the right people. You know.
No, I respect that, and everybody you mentioned, man, these are people that are well ingrained in the history of jiu-jitsu in the Middle East, because like them or hate them for whatever reason some may have, each one of the names that you mentioned, from Carlos Santos to Olavo to all of these people, they were the first wave of Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters, forget coaches, fighters in the country. And they impacted many people. Like Rio's gym is where Carlos Santos and these guys taught the first girls jiu-jitsu. And this was the start of female jiu-jitsu in the country, right?
By the way, I was there when Galia started training there.
You were in that gym with Hosseini?
I was in that gym, bro. I was there. I was there when Thabit came as well. I was there when a lot of those, everyone from... all those guys. Me and Thabit been killing each other since we were white belts, you know?
So what kind of a person were you when you started jiu-jitsu? Do you remember? Like, were you a nerdy person? Were you a sporty person? What kind of person were you?
I think when I started jiu-jitsu, I was a little bit of everything, you can say. Okay. I was a little bit nerdy, but I was the guy that was known that didn't care, would get in your face if he needed to. You know what I mean?
Okay. Cool.
Never been kind of scared in anyone. I think I've had a rough upbringing, you know. So
in Canada, or where did you grow up?
Well, actually, I was born in Kuwait.
Okay.
And I lived in Kuwait until after the Gulf War. So we were in Kuwait during the Gulf War, so I got to see
You've seen some shit.
Some crazy people that a kid should never see, you know. And it's funny enough, I remember it like it was yesterday, you know. And then going to Canada, you know, you can say like as refugees almost, you know, like just trying to escape that the craziness of what was going on there. And luckily, like I had a good father figure in my life who really, and my mother who just really did everything in their power to provide everything for us, you know. And I can never say like thank you enough, you know. And you know, and then in Halifax, you know, it's a peaceful place, man, but it had its it's tough times as well, you know, because there's a lot of people coming from different places who were either refugees or you know, coming from, let's say, not the middle class, more of a, you know, lower income, you know. So a lot of fights, a lot of crazy things, you know.
So you had to adapt.
Witness to, like, you know, been shot at, you know, when I was 15. Been shot
at?
Yeah.
Why? On purpose, or you were just in the wrong place?
Just some crazy guy, you know, just on drugs, comes in the park, starts shooting randomly. Yeah, it's so luckily then I made it to Dubai, which was like a safe haven, you know. Like,
exactly.
It's such a amazing place, you know.
Yeah.
It's such an amazing place in comparison to I can't say Canada, because Canada is amazing in its own way, but like, I mean, the safety,
is huge.
The making you feel like, you know, you can always be safe and you know, like, what other country in the world you can walk out in the middle of the night, in the middle of the night, bro. Like, police will come, they'll be like, hey, do you need some help? Can I get you somewhere? Is there something, you know what I mean? Like what other place in the world does that, you know?
Yeah, that's a big shocker for people that move here.
We've been like blessed in that. So I think that's but I think this kind of rough upbringing kind of made me a little bit hard, you know, mentally.
I get you. But it gravitated you towards martial arts, which turned out all right.
Correct. Because, man, I'll tell you, when I was young, man, I was getting beaten up all the time. I was getting picked on. You know, we were different, you know, to the people there at the time. So luckily, more and more, like, people had come in and populated, because, you know, in those places at the time, the population wasn't enough to kind of fulfill the cities, because they were such big cities. So they needed people to come, you know. And but at that time, we were just different. And
I get you.
You know, and you know, you get picked on and all that. So I think martial arts kind of was not just my self-defense, but kind of my escape, you know, from the realities of the day-to-day, you know, where I can come in and I can feel empowered and strong, you know, not just that I can defend myself, you know.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, you reach a point where the people that were picking on you, you don't want to fight them because you feel bad for them. Because you know what would happen to them, you know. So it's empowering in its own way. And I think this discipline and empowerment of martial arts is crazy, you know. It's really like someone handing you, like, here's the power, the gift, take it in your hand and cherish it, you know, preserve it and grow it, you know. And it's really amazing what it can do for people, you know.
Man, this is something resonated with me with what you're saying. Martial arts, you have non-martial artists and martial artists. And let's not call it martial arts, let's call it combat, right? People that are trained in combat and people that are not. People that are not tend to be more dangerous than people that are trained, because they struggle with their ego. They struggle with their inner demons that, let's say we walk on the street, right? You're trained, I'm not trained. Maybe I felt like you cut me off on the roads. Maybe I felt like you looked at me the wrong way. In my brain, so much shit is going to happen in comparison to your brain. In your brain, it's binary. Are we going to fight or no? I'd prefer not to. In my brain, can I get him? Can I know? Can I beat him up? Can I know? Will people watch? Will people not? Yes, man. It's everything.
Self-esteem, man. You know, it's like it's the self-esteem. It's not just the ego, you know. I think it's the self-esteem. It's kind of the
everything.
Like, I have to kind of test myself, you know.
Yes.
And I have to prove my dominance in order to be you know, to be not looked down upon, you know. So it's like I see it as more of a self-esteem thing, you know.
Very true.
And yeah, man, like, I've been in many situations, man, here, for example, where I've said, hey, man, like, I don't want to fight. Just let me be, you know.
And you can go to sleep at night just fine.
Okay, you can beat me up, you're the man, you know. Please, like, don't hurt me, leave me alone. Because you think to yourself, is it worth it? Like, and sometimes you feel bad for the person, because you're like, man, do you truly know what can happen right now? You know. It's
This is the interesting thing. Like, it's very rare for the situation to happen on the streets where two martial artists clash, because both of them are just, they're sick of fighting. Not sick of fighting, they already have a place to fight. They don't want to fight on the streets. It would be interesting to actually see two martial artists that would have a problem, how they would view the fight. Would they view it as my ego, what I can do versus the other guy, especially jiu-jitsu guys, I believe. It would probably be a test for themselves to challenge the technicality, and it would not be an animosity fight.
Yeah, you nailed it on the you
right?
hit the hammer, like they hit the hammer, the nail on the head. Yeah, there's a good person now.
I got you.
Yeah, I think that's also, I think it can be related down to self-esteem as well, man. You know?
Yes.
Because when you reach the higher levels of a certain thing, like for example, do you see jiu-jitsu black belts going around like picking fights and picking on people and saying, hey, like, come, yeah, you want to fight, let's fight, you know? It doesn't happen because we know we know what we're capable of, you know? It's the ones that have a point to prove, and as you said, they want to test their technicality, but why allow yourself to test the technicality in a field like this where anything can happen, man? You
Absolutely.
know, what you gonna do when you pull guard and the guy says, okay, yeah,
story over. Yep.
Right? Like, why allow yourself to be in that situation at all? Like, I always say, like, a true martial artist will always be aware of his surroundings and will always know how to avoid these situations. You know, if you go to a certain place that you know is known to have conflict, then you're allowing yourself to be put in that situation.
Very true.
Right? Where you might have to defend yourself. But if you're smart, you wouldn't allow yourself to be even near the situation. Right?
Absolutely agree with you.
I don't understand why you know, the point of trying to test this technicality, like, if you're not getting paid for it, don't do it, man. You know?
Dude, as you're saying it, you know what I was picturing in my head and laughing? You know, these typical American horror movies where this young, typical American girl next door goes out in the middle of the night, in the dark, hears a sound and walks towards the sound. And like, you're just watching like, why the fuck are you doing this? You're gonna go get killed. Most white belts are above this. Most non-trained people are that girl next door, blonde, walking towards the middle of the forest, hearing a loud sound. They do stupid shit like that. But when you train martial arts, I hear a loud sound in the forest, it's dark, go back home. Don't go. You know, I mean, like, you know when trouble's ahead, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think, as I said, man, it's just better to avoid the situation altogether, man.
Yeah. No, I get you. So,
like, I've been to. I'm not saying here, like, because, as I said, like, I've been lucky that most of the places and most of the people I've trained with here have been just awesome, you know.
Sure.
But I mean, I've traveled abroad and been to places. I've been to gyms where, you know, as soon as you walk in, everyone is sizing you up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll train a little bit here, and then you'll never see me there again. Why would I allow myself to be put in that situation? What have I got to prove to anybody?
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, and it's not usually the higher rank guys you'll see. Now, I'm not talking about just jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about in all combat sports in general. You know, because it's I don't see it's right to just pinpoint jiu-jitsu in these things, because it's all combat sports. You know, it's not just jiu-jitsu. You know, and actually, some of the best people I ever met were in jiu-jitsu. You know,
yeah. So how do you feel about bullying? Like, I see on chat, Lola is asking. She's like, "But don't forget about bullying. Sometimes there is no option than to step up." What do you have to say about that?
There's a difference when you're, see, if you're getting bullied, and you're trained, I would say if the person's gonna put their hand on you, you have to defend yourself. But
most bullying
there's a difference, huh?
Most bullying, they don't put their hand on you. Most bullies are just verbal because they don't want to put hands on.
Then I think you have to reach out. You know, you have to reach out to the adults. You have to. I think a lot of the problems with the kids is the fact that they don't communicate. They don't talk. They don't tell what's happening. Maybe they're scared of the repercussions, or being laughed at even worse, or what, what people will think of them. But at the end of the day, man, I think mental bullying is like, can sometimes be way worse than physical bullying,
Yeah, it piles up.
Piles up, and it makes people do very, very sad things,
Yeah.
And I'm a super anti-bullying advocate,
But you're also anti-responding physically to a bully. Like, you're saying that it should be talk, tell,
it should be always the last
resort.
resolution, the last means of resolution. If you have no way out, they got you in a corner, they're putting their hands on you, they're about to do something to hurt you, then to defend yourself, by all means, diffuse the situation as much as you can, get out, But if it's one of those things, because, man, it's so tragic, man. Like, you see all the things that happen to children and kids, man, I had a friend of mine recently, man, who God rest his soul, committed suicide,
I'm sorry to hear that.
And sometimes you think people are like the happiest people on the planet, but you don't know what's going on deep down,
No, you don't. Yeah.
And it's sad, because sometimes the people who let's say are blossoming and are how what's the word I'm looking for, like spreading the happiness, radiating the happiness to everyone, are the saddest ones, man.
Yeah, we've seen that in history. We've seen that with Robin Williams. We've seen that with a bunch of people.
With a lot of people,
Yeah.
And I think we have to, like, as a community, as adults, tell people it's okay to talk. It's okay to tell what's happening in your life, especially if you're being bullied mentally, physically. How else are we going to end it if we don't know what's happening?
I totally understand that, man.
Martial arts is great for disciplining kids and helping them to grow and helping them to defend themselves, but that's only one part of the equation. You know what I mean? Being able to defend yourself is just one part.
Yeah.
You have to be able to speak up and to be able to talk about what's happening in your life.
So how do you think you learned that?
I think it's our job to kind of teach them that, even if it's in martial arts, because I know a lot of martial arts academies and schools kind of teach that, hey, it's, if something's happening in your life, tell us, where sometimes maybe they don't feel comfortable, confiding in their parents. They feel more comfortable confiding in an instructor. Hey, this is happening to me at school. What can I do to stop it? Do I hit him? Do I do this?
Very
and
important.
then I think it's the instructor's job, first and foremost, inform the parents,
Yeah.
And second is if there's no action taken by them, then he should maybe be the one to intervene,
Yes.
as the adult, because this really has to stop, with all the shit that's happening in the world. This should be the least of the problems, man.
That's very true. Unfortunately, it isn't. But I like how you view things with the martial arts instructor perspective. Like, we have a role to play, and when
we all have a role to play. Every one of us.
Even the teammates, even if the people in the gym with you, they should be out there watching, seeing if you're feeling something off, talking to you. Like, this is how we support each other as a community.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now I have another funny. I'm gonna tell you another funny story. A little hush story that kind of happened that people don't really know much about. Only a few.
Okay.
Guy came in. I'm not gonna say the gym. It can be here. It could have been somewhere else outside.
Okay.
Guy comes into a gym. Says he's a professional boxer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a professional boxer. I want to learn MMA. Yada yada yada.
Okay.
Guy is about maybe a few years younger than I'm 37 now, so he was about a few years younger than me.
Got you.
Starts beating on the kids, man, in the class.
Hmm.
And the instructor looks at me and looks at like, is this really happening? Like, why is he like, even in technique, he's hitting the kids hard,
Oh
you
boy.
know? So
When you
we
say
kept
kids, which kids? Like how
like
old?
the younger, like teenagers, let's say. Sorry,
Okay.
my bad.
Okay.
That's a bit too. That's a bit
There's a
misleading.
wide range
So why
of
not?
kids.
Let's say teenagers,
Okay.
okay? And he's a
Yeah.
little bit he's older than them, and they're teenagers, and
Okay.
so. But clearly, they'd not had the experience and the level he has. Now, obviously, we didn't know what he had, so we
Mm-hmm.
paired him up to see what there was, you know. But he kind of started going all out on them. So I
Okay.
said, "Hey, man, bro, calm down. We're here to learn. Like, these are just kids, like teenagers. Like, we're just learning techniques still. No need to hit them hard. Like, oh yeah, okay, no problem. Okay." Then again, same thing. So I said, "Man, yo, you here to learn, or you here to beat up like these young guys? You know, what are you here to
Yes.
do? Yeah." They said, "No, I'm not going hard." I said, "Man, you are. Like, please just relax. You know, we're here
Yes.
all to learn. Let's learn together. You know." And I kept smiling and laughing and like tapping him on the shoulder, but like, you know, not trying to be very like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Confrontational. Yeah.
Confrontational. And then the third time, he hit the guy, and the guy started like tearing. He started tearing. So I said, "Hey, man, like, enough." I said, "Bro, like, this has got to stop. Like, you're going too hard on them." He said, "What's your?" He started to tell me off. I said, "What's your problem? If you have a problem, let's fight." I said, "Man, I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to teach you."
Oh
I said,
no.
"I'd be happy to teach you if you'd like, yeah, but I'm not here to fight you." "No, no, no. You want to fight? Let's fight. Let's fight." I said, "Okay." I said, "Man, listen. I don't want to do this. Like,
Mm.
please. I'm not here to prove my point to you. Like, just leave it." "No, no, no, no. You talk a lot. Listen." I said, "Okay."
Oh no. Oh
You
no,
know,
man.
he kept
That
being
guy's
very.
going through some shit in his life, man.
Yes. I said, "Okay." I said, "Okay." I said, "Man,
Okay.
you don't have to prove anything here. Like, relax, you know." So he said, "No, no, let's go in the cage." And he literally walked in the cage.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, yeah.
This guy's in a
So
movie.
we ended the. Yeah, it was like literally something out of a movie, man. You know, I think someone has it on video, one of my friends, but
Oh,
I
I'd
got
love
it.
to see this.
I deleted it because it's like something I didn't want to hold on to, you know.
Sure, sure.
Since we brought these things up, so I said, "Okay." I went in
Yeah.
there.
Mm.
I told the guys, like, end the class early, you know, let
Hmm.
the young guys go home so they
I
don't
bet
have to.
nobody went home.
No, no. See, something like that I would never let people see. Even the instructor
Okay.
there, who really was awesome guy, you know,
Yeah.
he was trying his best to diffuse the situation, but
Yeah.
it was just one of those things. I think it got way
Yeah.
out of hand.
Okay.
Went in there, so I remember he as soon as they closed the door, he came rushing at me. He threw a punch and tried to take me down. So I just took him down and just ground and pounded him a little bit, but not being too harsh on the guy, you know, just a few
Sure.
ground and pounds, hit him with one elbow.
Not being too hard. Okay.
No. I mean, you would understand someone in my situation.
Of course,
What
man.
that situation, they would have really well
Harmed him.
done. You know what I mean? But just
Yeah.
hit him a few times, took him down, hit him a few times, and then now, are you ready to learn, or can we, or would you like to continue? Then he said, "No, no, no, I'm done." Then I kind of gave him a little nudge with my leg, and I said, "So get back in the class now and stop, you know, messing
Yeah.
around." Unfortunately, he didn't, so we had to
Yeah,
keep him on.
people like that. People like
Yeah.
that. There's some people that are
So that was
just
one of
you
the,
cannot
like,
save.
yeah. So this was one of those one time I think that you know, I would say the situation went a little bit where I kind of had to kind of put someone in their place, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually
Unfortunately.
I wouldn't reach that point, you know. It's very, very, very hard to get me to that point. You know what I mean?
I get you. No, I get that sense from you, man. You're a very nice, laid back guy. And you definitely have a lot of wisdom to share. So I wanted to pick your brain a little bit about
Yeah, let's
martial
move
arts.
on to stories to get to the
Let,
other thing.
let's understand one thing. Where do you sit right now? Are you a striker? Are you a grappler? What do you consider yourself?
A little bit of everything, man. You know,
A little bit
I
of
started
everything.
off as a striker.
Okay.
I got into jiu-jitsu. I
Yes.
had amazing coaches. I reached the top of the mountain. You know, I
Yes.
got my black belt.
How did that feel? reaching that top of the mountain, as you said it?
You know, you realize all the hard work, everything, all the minutes, everything you grounded in the gym. It was literally like, how do I say? It's like literally a story that was written onto your belt and saying, here you go. We're handing you your story as an accomplishment. This is the accomplishment of your story.
Wow. That's
and
beautiful.
It's the best feeling in the world, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what else can come close to that, in terms of achievements,
I totally understand you.
And to have your instructor like give you the belt and tell you that he's proud of you and what you've done. It's, only not, as much as there are black belts in the world, how many people in the world can say that they felt this? It's
That's
a
very
percentage.
true. That's very true. And I think, even if the whole world had the black belt, man, it's still, like you said, the greatest story you'll ever tell is your own. So each black belt has their own story.
The greatest story never told.
Yeah, the greatest story never told until now. But Ahmed, tell me, like, do you recall, you're saying when you received your black belt, all these minutes, all these struggles, all these things. Do you recall certain key struggles, certain difficulties you had on your journey in jiu-jitsu that was like a real challenge that you had to break through to move forward?
Well, I think there's a lot of things, man.
Yeah, but like things that stick to the brain, like key injuries, or for example, guards or whatever.
I've been the guy who's been blessed to be. I sneeze, I get injured. No, I think that the level at what we were training and what we were setting out to achieve, an injury is
bound to happen.
Risky,
Yeah.
I remember from brown belt to black belt, I was training 3 times a day, every day, not a single day I missed. And then I had like training partners, like, I don't know if maybe you heard Max Abraham.
Yeah, I know them.
The Russian sensation, I call him. He's phenomenal.
Yes.
Where we would come in and drill. Besides those training, we would drill positions over and over and over, like either early morning or middle of the afternoon or whatever, and trying to compete as much as possible, and always being the lucky guy who gets the guy who wins the division first fight,
Okay.
And always like setting out like, I don't care, I just want to fight,
Yes, yes.
I think I really enjoyed fighting, I enjoyed like the jiu-jitsu. For me, as much as it is grappling, it's not the same as Muay Thai. When you get kicked in Muay Thai, when you get punched, you feel it. You feel every punch, every kick, every elbow, every knee. You feel it in the fight. So it takes someone sadistic, let's say, to enjoy that kind of punishment to the body. Whereas like jiu-jitsu, you can, today I can go out and fight you, and you can submit me, and then we can go and laugh and have an acai in the back together and talk about how fun that was, you know what I mean?
I get you.
But I think for me, it was more mental, because I always wanted to do more, more than what I was capable of. And I always had it in my mind that I had to go beyond what I was doing. I think my mentality was whatever I'm doing, my opponent's doing twice as more. So I have to do twice as more to catch up to what he's doing, And I think that was kind of one of the mental blocks that I'd set for myself, in terms of one of the barriers that got me. Like, people look at it as a hurdle to cross, whereas for me it was like a block. And I think once I started to just let go and enjoy jiu-jitsu more than focus on achieving in jiu-jitsu, like I'm doing all this to get my belt, I'm doing all this to beat everyone. No. I got lucky. I had Rafael and I remember Eduardo both had told me the same thing. Eduardo told me a purple belt and Rafael told me a brown belt. He said, open up your game, stop focusing on
Interesting.
you know, being too restricted, and to enjoy the process, you know, enjoy the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I started to kind of elevate myself, you know, and start to really enjoy jiu-jitsu is when I stopped being too focused on losing and not losing, I mean, and too focused on you know, my black belt is my target. I have to get my black belt, you know.
I got you.
You know, the black belt came at the right time when it was meant to come, you know.
Okay.
It's the process. What really was kind of the amazing thing about it was the process getting there, you know. And finally realizing that, hey, I'm enjoying jiu-jitsu, you know. I'm loving it. It's no more like, oh, I'm the purple belt and there's a blue belt and I can't let him submit me, you know.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I have to fight him like it's a world championship, you know.
Yes.
When you reach, I think, that level, and you start to realize, like, hey, I don't have to be worried about that anymore. Like, you know, if I get submitted, I have to find a way not to let that happen again, in correcting myself rather than restricting myself, limiting myself from being in that position. You know, I start to throw myself into the position even more. That was the only way to learn, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
Like they say, I think it was Bruce Lee who said it, in the heart of danger lies your comfort zone, you know. So it's the more you put yourself in those situations and learn to be comfortable in those situations, the more you learn. And I think that was kind of what my mentality changed towards and adapted towards, is rather than focusing on, you know, winning all the time, it's like, hey, how do I stop myself from letting this happen to me, you know? I got caught with this last time, you know. How do I get better at not letting this happen to me? And the only other way is put yourself in that position. Enjoy it. You tap me, haha, you got me. Okay, let's try it again. Boom, boom, boom. Third, fourth, fifth time. Okay, now I'm realizing. Okay, now he did something. I realized there's an opening. I capitalized on this. He went to something else. He might have caught me with something else. Okay, start again. Go to this. Go to that one. You know, this is why I love jiu-jitsu, man. It's so intricate, man. It's so intricate. The game of human chess, where one move can be 50,000 different directions, not just one or two. Yeah.
Yes, the variations are endless, and now that we're even mixing new things to it,
counters are endless. The variations to the counters are endless, and this is why it's so popular, man. And anyone can do it. You know, anyone can do it.
That's so beautiful, man. Like it drives me crazy that till today you see a black belt who's been a black belt for 20 years look and see a new technique in a position he's milked to see something new. It shocks me. Like, I'd be like, did you really never see this before? He's like, no. And you're a black belt for 20 years. Holy shit.
Exactly, man. Exactly. This is why, like, the sport is still evolving. So, like, for me, people are like, you find a lot of people who are hating all those barimbolos and butt scooting and all that. So sure, we joke about it a little bit, but man, come on, man. It's evolution, you know.
It's part of it.
It's part of evolution, bro, you know. And if people are finding success in those positions that you wouldn't go to before, then I think it's time to open your mind and start to try, you know, because I think there's a lot of people still in that old school mentality where it's like, hey, I have to get on top, pass the guard, pressure, you know, submit, you know.
Yes.
They're not opening their mind to all the fascinating, new and intricate things that are coming out of jiu-jitsu and positions. You know, hey, maybe some of those things don't translate well to MMA, which might be our focus. I understand that's a whole different area where you have to focus specific things. You know, I can understand where you're not gonna barimbolo someone in a MMA fight and get your head caved in. You know what I mean? But in terms of jiu-jitsu, those things are amazing. It's like you know, I used to tell people jiu-jitsu is like a canvas, and someone's always painting a new stroke, new brush stroke on that canvas, you know, and adding little by little a new
every single day
piece, you know, to the art, you know.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's really, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm right now I'm still recovering from my injury. I'm dying to go back on the mats, man.
What injury? What happened?
Torn ACL and MCL. It was
Wow.
severe. Yeah. So I tried everything in my power not to get a surgery done, but it
Okay.
was one of those like, hey man, your knee's pretty much on the other side of your leg. Like you need to have a
Yeah.
surgery. I've still
How did
got
that
a brace
happen?
in my knee till now, and it was with Thabit, by the way.
Oh no. Oh no, Thabit. What the hell are you
No,
doing, Thabit?
you know, it was a freak accident. It was a freak accident, honestly. Like, he got me in a single leg. I was trying to twist out. The mats were not slippery, so my body turned, but my leg didn't turn. You know what I mean? And my knee turned, but my leg stayed like stationary on the mat. Yeah, so
Ah, man.
it wasn't. It wasn't.
That hurts to hear.
I got nothing but love for the guy, man.
Of course, man. Of course. That's part of the
He
game.
was,
I just tweaked my LCL on my left knee. Luckily, nothing too serious, but it's part of the game, man. Like you're saying, like eventually you're taking the car on the racetrack, and eventually you're gonna skid out.
yeah, for sure. It
You
has to
gotta
happen.
you
It
gotta
has to
test the
happen.
limit.
How do you come back from that now? Do you sit at home and feel sorry for yourself, or you do everything in your power to come back better than the last time?
Yeah,
This is where I am at now. I
I
know
like
I
it.
have a long way to go till I'm back on the mats, but screw it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do everything in my power to come back 150 times better. You know,
And I bet you're
stronger,
fucking
whatever.
excited for it. I bet you're
Yeah, I'm
excited for the
excited. I'm
challenge.
excited. I'm excited to go out and get submitted, man, and by the guys who I used to kill, you know,
I
and then
love
say,
it.
hey, now I have to work, you know. Before I didn't
Yes.
have to work, now I have to work. I have to be the one putting in the work, you
Yes.
know. It's part of the journey, you know, and I'm excited for the next chapter, let's say, you know. When
Everybody
it,
watching that regularly trains with Ahmed, now's your chance. This is the time.
yeah, but getting back to the Zapatero thing, I think we went off topic a little bit where I got that name from. So
Now we
yeah,
know Zapatero is your knee.
no, not my knee. So at one point, I really, as I said, I learned kind of some things from Sambo, and once I
Okay.
started to, I think towards the end of the purple belt, I started trying out some things. Ankle locks, okay. I was never like into the whole ankle lock thing. I would try it because I didn't really learn it in Sambo, to be honest. But
Okay.
once I got to the brown belt and just started toe holds, knee bars, toe
Mm.
holds, knee bars.
You
So
loved it.
this Rodrigo was watching me when he said, "Oh, Zapatero, Zapatero." So what is that? I'm thinking Sabat, you know, like because
Not too
that's
far, by the way.
you
Not
know,
too
yeah,
far.
that's what it's related to that, you know. So
Yes.
it's you know, Brazil guys who always they go for leg, always trying to grab your leg, you know. Then we call them Zapatero. So that's where it kind of stuck
It's
from, you
stuck.
know.
I
Yeah,
get you.
the
I
leg
get you,
lock,
man.
and I remember. So now every time I think I come and train with Thabit, for example, he's always asking like to focus on that, you know, because
Yes.
it's more of a dominant game for me is to attack those things. Even if I have some sneaky gi stuff and gi chokes
Oh,
and all that, but you know, if I see the arm or the leg, you can probably rest assured I'm going to the leg, you know, not the
I
arm.
like it. And do you train mostly gi or no gi?
You know, um, I like both, you know.
Okay.
Every
Nice.
I don't believe in this like, oh, you only have to train in one to be good.
On the
No.
contrary, yeah.
The gi has its advantages and disadvantages, and so does the no gi, you know. And
Yes.
if you train both, then you're kind of covering all aspects of it, you know.
100%.
So do I have a preference? I said if I'm focused on something MMA related, then maybe I will probably do more no gi, you know. But in general, I like both, you know. I like the gi
Okay.
because there's so much funky stuff you can do with the gi, you know. Yeah, you know
Exactly.
how many times you can get to choke someone with your own shirt, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
It has a
so
feeling to it that the no-gi doesn't. But
yeah.
no-gi has
And
its
I
own
think I
game as
think
well.
both of them, like, each has their own things that they bring to the table for everything, you know.
Yes.
When you're training gi, everything should be refined. Everything has to be refined. You cannot make a mistake
True.
because they will capitalize on that easily.
Very
In
true.
no gi, your grips, your submissions have to be like, when you lock on something, you have to be 100% locked it on, because the guy's gonna just get
Yeah.
out of it, like worm his way out of it or whatever, you know. So both have their advantages, you know. If you
Yes.
tighten up this one, it's gonna help you in that one, and if you get good at this one, it's gonna also help you in that one. So that's why
Yes.
for me, gi no gi, it's jiu-jitsu. End of the day. You know,
I like
it's
that.
jiu-jitsu is gi, no gi, half gi, whatever you want, funky different lapel, and then whatever shorts. It's end of the day, it's just jiu-jitsu, man. And ultimately, it's just grappling, man. You know, whether it's catch wrestling or jiu-jitsu or whatever, it's grappling, man. Each
Yeah.
has their advantages, and it's an amazing art, and I think everyone should do it. Everyone
Agreed.
should try it at least.
Agreed. Agreed. So you said you injured your knee. Is this where you went through that weight gain and then you got your nutrition? When was this?
Um, it happened last November, actually.
Oh, okay,
Last
quite a
no,
while
yeah,
back.
quite, yeah. I had gained weight before that.
Okay.
I think because I was a little bit careless, and I was always yo-yoing, dieting. Trying we got to that point of the fads and all this
Yes.
magic pills. I was do keto. Oh my
Mhm.
god. I start to lose a bit of weight. I feel good. All of a sudden, whoop, it's all back on.
Yes.
Try this. All of a sudden, I stop and I'm
Yes.
balloon. I kept trying everything and researching. I was really big into like researching and trying things, and I love. I think I'm a little bit of a nerd.
Okay.
I like to research. I like to always
Nice.
up my knowledge and my information. So nutrition has always been something I've been interested in, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, as much as I was like reading into it and doing it, it wasn't doing anything for me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Uh, because I've always been trying to find the easy way out, the
Mhm.
fad, the next big thing. And so let's say I had a lot of weight. I was still trying to grapple and do all the things that I would do that my body was doing at like 70 kilos versus now I'm like 111 kilos,
Okay.
And yeah, I got the injury. I got injured. I think I was about 90 kilos then. I got injured, and
Oof.
um, so I had to do a surgery. After the surgery, I was miserable because I couldn't train. You start to get
Yes.
miserable. You feel bad for yourself. I can't do
Yes.
nothing. So what do? You
Yes.
sit and fill your face with a little pie of happiness, let's say. So
Short-term happiness. That's
everything,
right.
your mouth becomes a vacuum and your brain just shuts off, and you just eat everything in sight to kind of
Yeah.
get some sort of happiness, secrete some sort of
Yeah.
serotonin or endorphin or
It's a vicious
whatever,
cycle.
something that you were feeling from that, but you can't get it from that. You're trying to get it from somewhere else,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then I started living that F it, I'll get back on track later.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
And the weight kept piling on, man, and then it got serious. I
Mm.
remember I was telling my wife, I'm like, I don't feel well. Like I feel something is wrong.
Mm.
Something is wrong with me. And by the way, this let's just say this is the second time. Like I gained a lot of weight before,
Okay.
long time back, and I
Okay.
lost it all.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second time, but because after when I lost it all back then, I got quite serious with my sports, and it wasn't like injury related. That was just, I think,
Okay.
just being reckless with myself. You know what I mean? And then when this one happened, it was injury related, and I started to tell her like I don't feel well. I think something is wrong with me, and she's saying like, you need to go to the hospital. You need to get it checked out. And I'm like, it will pass. I don't know. It's a
Mm.
headache or something. I don't know. I feel lightheaded. It will pass. It will pass. I'll be fine.
Interesting. Okay.
I remember I was at a meeting with my boss, and we were in one of the government entities
Mm-hmm.
having a meeting, and I was drinking this. I don't know what it was, like some sort of chai latte or something like that.
Okay.
And I just remember feeling like super bad. And then luckily, one of the guys who works with me, he was he studied medicine.
Okay.
To tell him, man, like, hey Ali, I don't feel well. I think something's wrong. He's like, what do you feel? Directly, went into that medicine one because he was working at a hospital before he came and worked with me. Surprisingly, he went from medicine to real estate. You know,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, big. Anyway,
Love it.
whole different.
Yeah.
So he told me. bro, you need to go to the hospital. He's like, you need to go. I'm like, maybe later. Like, he's like, no, what you sound like, what you're telling me now sounds serious. Get your ass to the hospital. Yeah. So, you know, I finished my meeting. I finished my meeting, and he was telling me this. I said, you know, it doesn't hurt to go and get checked out. The hospitals is not too far from my work. I can go get checked out and come back. I remember driving there, man, and feeling like I was gonna faint, you know? Like I was literally driving and my eyes were closed and I'm like, man, something's like, what's going on, you know? Like,
whoa,
like, you're almost there, Ahmed. Like you just drank a shitload of coffee. You should not be feeling like this. Like something's wrong.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, you know, I'm driving and I'm like, whoa, like I want to sleep, you know? But it wasn't like sleep. It was weird, you know?
Yeah, drowsiness. Yeah.
Like weird drowsiness. And so I got to the hospital and got in to see a doctor. And I told him, I feel like this, like this, like this. He said, I'm going to just stop you there. He pulled out this blood, the glucose measuring machine. He said, let's test your blood sugar. I said, why are you testing my blood sugar? He said, just let's test your blood sugar before we talk. He kind of, I think he knew what was happening. When he tested my blood sugar, I'll never forget the look on. He saw the thing. He was like waiting, like 3, 2, 1. You know, it was like a shock. You know,
Holy shit.
He said it's 600. Said, you know, it's like an average human being should be like 120 max with like food. If it goes a little bit above that, okay, but it's like 600. He said this is the first time I see 600.
Your body's just not breaking down the sugar.
It's too high, you know? And he said, relax a little bit, stay here. Let's test again in a few minutes. He said, sometimes the meter is something.
Oh no. Your audio cut this time. Your audio cut this time. There we go. You're back.
Yeah. So he said, let's wait a little bit. We'll check the blood again. Maybe it's something with the meter. It could be a glitch, you know, because in his mind, like he couldn't believe what he just saw, I think, you know?
Sure.
We waited about, I think, another half hour or so.
Okay.
I just sat, then we tested again. 600. Didn't go down. Still the same. He said, Ahmed, we have to order some extensive tests and we have to get you in ICU now. He's like, your sugar is too high. It's too dangerous. He's like, it's too dangerous to be that high. So I called work. I'm like, hey guys, I'm not coming in. Apparently I have to go to ICU. And I remember being like super drowsy, you know?
Yeah.
And then I remember like, you know, like I was like, guys, I feel like I'm going to faint, you know? So I remember I said that at the time when they were taking their first blood tests and all that, and then they said, just rest for now. Let us have a look at what's happening, you know. Then they like team of them like had come in, you know, like I think they'd gotten the test.
That's never a good sign.
Like a team of them, you know, like 5 doctors and some, I don't know, 4 or 5 doctors, and they're like, man, everything is shutting down. It's like your kidneys are shutting down, your liver is shutting down. Like it's, I'm like, what's happening? He's like, your uric acid level is showing like insane levels. And I'm like, man, he's like, and this happens sometimes when there's two, like he said, you not only are your sugar is like through the roof, you're dehydrated beyond belief. And he said, that's also a sign of your body trying to flush out whatever is going on inside of it, but it's not working, you know?
Bro, what were you eating?
You know yeah, man. I said, yeah, you know what's funny is like I keep drinking water. Like I remember a few nights before that, I would get up and I would chug like the whole 1.5 liter bottle.
You just feel thirsty.
Bottle of water. And I just kept doing it over and over and over, man. Like I just thirsty all the time. They're like, this is a clear sign of, you know, something. They didn't want to tell me what yet, but they're like, they started injecting me with things and all that. And man, I remember for 5 days, I was getting a test done every hour.
What the hell, man?
Insulin and this and that and things to kind of wake up the kidneys to get them to function. They were not functioning. And I kept like, they said that they finally came, they're like, you were like going into a diabetic coma. Yeah. Where all the organs were like khalas shutting down. Like the doctor came in, he's like, I'm not sugarcoated. You were dying. You were literally dying. Yeah. Like your
God
body.
bless your colleague that sent you to the.
Yeah, man. Oh, I owe him my life, man. He saved my life. You know. So I remember at that time, you know, it was it was weird. I was like, man, I'm the guy that whenever they need a sparring partner and no one is there, I'm the guy who's there. Whenever they need to go for a run, long distances, I'm the guy who's there. And whenever they need to ask me and like I don't know anything, you know, I'm the guy who's there. I was a Muay Thai coach for about 7-8 years, getting people into shape. Imagine I die now from, like, I was laughing to myself. I was laughing, saying, imagine I die of obesity, man. Like, what a way to go, you know?
Oh man.
After, like, I'm meant to be the guy that, like, a lot of people kind of looked up to in this field, you know, of sports and all that. Like, what's the irony behind that, you know?
Yeah, that's self-esteem saving you.
Yeah. Like, it's that day, I think it woke me up finally to say, Ahmed, like,
holy shit,
enough is enough, you know, like you need to change your life, you know, around completely. And I said
that's a very real wake-up call too, man. That's like
very, very real, you know. And yeah, like I think it was a blessing in a way, because once I got out of there and managed, you know, they had me on insulin shots. I was taking insulin injections and they were like, we don't know if you're type 1 or type 2 diabetes. I had a test sent abroad and I was, you know, waiting like patiently by the phone for the results to know if I'm going to be injecting myself for the rest of my life, you know. It came back, they told me that you were type 2 diabetic, you know. So I said, can you hear me?
Yeah, of course. I'm just shocked.
You're type 2 diabetic, thank God.
Okay.
I said, thank you, thank God, but it's not good enough. I said, now this is my new hurdle that I have to overcome. And I said, I'm not going to make the same mistakes as before with the yo-yos and the fads and all. I'm going to approach this from a
change your life.
Scientific approach and a change of life to the right way. No more fads, no more garbage, no more nonsense, man. I was talking to the dietitian in the hospital, and she was telling me, you know, Ahmed, how many people we admitted with type 1 diabetes after ketogenic diets?
Oh
said,
no.
Well, she said,
oh
like,
no.
No, yeah. They said, so they said, we're not saying that it's the cause, but we're saying that these people are now type 1 diabetics, and all of them were on, when we asked them, what are you on? They said ketogenic diets. Well, I mean, there could have been a lot of factors that played into that, obesity, whatever, yada, yada. I think it was a real wake-up call for me, because I remember I spent 2 years of my life being ketogenic. You know, I was ketogenic for 2 years of my life, and man, bro, I hated my life. I don't care what anyone says. I really hated my life. You know, when you're like at a table and people are eating pasta and bread and you're sitting there going, excuse me, is this thing, you know, can you remove the bread from my food and add extra cheese to my, you know?
I love how you pull an Arabic accent. Yeah.
The Arabic side is coming out of me, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. When I'm Yemeni, you know, so, well, Yemeni, Palestinian, half and half. So I'm the best in this world when it comes to cuisines, you know?
I love it. Yes, you are.
So when I'm sitting there and my family's eating mandi and I'm saying, hey, can you cut me a slice off the meat, off the side of the, you know, it's, why do you do that to yourself, man? Yeah. It's not worth the hell, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
You can be, you know, in a caloric deficit, but eating good food, balanced, you know, nutritionally dense foods where, you know, where you don't have to be ashamed of picking up that slice of bread at the table, you know, and eating it, you know. So basically I got into studying nutrition, and I have a friend who is jiu-jitsu guy as well, and he's a wizard in this nutrition. I have to really thank him for this, and I hope you don't mind. I'm going to mention his name, Eloy Rodriguez. You know, he's a carbon.
Shout out to Eloy.
Performance, man. He's the guy. I went to him and said, Eloy, man, I got to change my way around, change my ways, and I want to study nutrition. So what should I do? He's like, Ahmed, do this. Bang, 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 bang. Study this, do this. You know, and your career will move forward from that, and I'm always here if you need me.
Yeah.
And I've got him to really thank for putting me in the right motion, you know,
Wow.
to kickstart something that I've always loved, but I've always looked at it in the wrong way. Let's say,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes.
I've always looked at what
As
is
a consumer.
as a consumer, but as a consumer in the sense of, great, I'm studying nutrition. Let me find that secret formula that's hidden in there that they're doing. You know what I mean?
Sorry, but kharoof. Like that's how they.
Yeah, exactly. But there
These
wasn't
industries prey on this.
one. I just, like, for me now, like I tell people, okay, vegetarian, I have no problem with any of them. You be whatever you want, you
Sure.
know, vegetarian, keto, whatever. Some people, like, you know, are doing it for the beliefs or for the animal rights. Praise to you guys, man. It takes much power. I know I can't do it, like, you know, but it takes much power, to a lot of willpower to be
Stand up for something.
Yeah, to stand up for something, you know. But at the end of the day, all of these things are preaching the same thing. From intermittent fasting to keto to vegetarian to balance to paleo to is what you want to lose weight, caloric deficit, right?
Yes.
At the end of the day, no matter what you do, it's being in a caloric deficit is what's going to get you into that state, regardless of the diet. Now, if you're doing it because, like, I understand doing keto, for example, if you're epileptic and that sugar, that kind of carb sugar hitting the brain might cause that stimulus of that causes the epilepsy, then I understand. Or if you're like
Alzheimer's and you need to reduce the sugar intake.
Whatever, you know, if it's medical, then yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep grabbing my shoulders, man. I had a crazy workout today, so my shoulders are killing me.
I had the exact same, man. I'll tell you. Yeah, I get you, bro.
Yeah. So if your doctor puts you on it for medical reasons, not for, hey, you're fat, you need to lose weight. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Then I understand, and I praise to you, and I would love to be a part of helping you to achieve whatever it is you want to do, you know. But if you're doing it just for the sake of finding the magic trick or the magic pill, then you're wrong.
You're gonna be disappointed,
you know, because it's not sustainable, you know. I think
that's a key thing.
Vegetarianism is, you can say, is sustainable, you know, but in some sense, you know,
Depends
if it's
where you live.
a belief or like a religion, or, you know, then praise to you. This is not for you, this talk, you know what I mean? I'm not pointing the gun at you, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But there's a lot of, I can say, misinformation when it comes to this, because at the end of the day, there's no magic trick, magic pill. You're going to do keto. You're going to shed a little bit of water weight from the carbs, you know, that carbs, because when you eat carbs, you're injecting glycogen into your muscles and as, you know, storage for when you need to burn it to move that muscle at a very extreme pace. You know, so you're depleting your body of that. It's becoming fat adaptive, but at the end of the day, is it sustainable in the long run? Sorry, I don't see it as a and you know, let me just tell you one more thing. Have you noticed that it's the keto diet is kind of dying out? We don't really hear much about it these days, right?
It's shifting to like paleo and other shit now. It's the same thing, different name.
Showing you that it's just another one of those fads that's run its cycle. It became the next big thing, and then it's
unfortunately,
you know, it helped a lot of people. Maybe people who were a little bit too overweight and didn't know how to start, didn't want to give up eating the bad food. You know what I mean? Like that kind of bad keto, as I call it. You know.
Yes.
But then you have to look at the big picture. You know, sustainability, continuum. Are you going to work in a continuum? You know, because at the end of the day, is it sustainable? Can you do it continuously? Can this be a lifestyle? Not right there, right now. You know.
Yeah.
And these are the people who succeed, who know that their plan of action when it comes to food is a lifestyle continuum that can be endless and eternal. You know, not
huge,
specific to a time frame. You know.
Yes.
So this is where, like, I think I've been trying to kind of change the picture of nutrition here. And actually, it's a lot of nutritionists have been saying the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, who really know their stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
been saying the same thing, that we don't need these fads. We don't need all the garbage, the pills, the even most of the supplements. You know,
Right.
to achieve the goals that we want. You know, and especially in these kind of sports. You know, that we are doing now. You know, we don't need all the nonsense. You know, at the end of the day, it's just gonna hurt us. You know.
It's a multi-layered thing, Ahmad, and unfortunately, science and medicine is not as advanced as we may like to think it is. 20 years ago, science, like, they just boasted about how much they knew about nutrition. Today, we laugh about what they knew 20 years ago, and maybe 20 years from now, they're gonna laugh at what we know today.
Correct.
But there are things that, if you really break it down, make sense, and things that don't. Like you say, it all comes down to lifestyle. Can you maintain this for the rest of your life? Because if you can't, you're wasting your fucking time. You're changing your homeostasis for something that's not going to last.
For sure. For sure. Exactly. You nailed it on the head. It's
Yeah.
at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do now, especially with my clients, is the focus is, as I said, lifestyle. And
Nice.
for some people, for athletes, I have to look at it differently, you know,
Okay.
because athletes, we have to establish the foundation and then add on, you know. So the foundation will be, are you eating a well balanced diet? Let's call it diet. Is your nutrition on point? Let's say, you know, first and foremost, yes. Then we can look at the little things that you can play around with to give you the edge, you know, in
Yes.
terms of up regulating carbs, cycling when needs to be, you know.
Yes.
Now I need to cut weight. I'm gonna play with your water loading. I'm gonna play with your potassium and your electrolytes to flush and retain when you need to, and all that. And then we look at supplements, you know,
Yes.
and these things. But for the everyday person, or the person who's just training, you know,
Hobbyist, yeah.
we don't need to get to that stage. You know, I call them and in my nutrition studies, call them the level 1. And a lot of the athletes are still level 1. You know,
Yes.
it's the ones that really, like, you know, like, for example, I would consider myself a level 1. I'm not competing. I'm not doing everything. I'm doing, it's like a lifestyle for me. Whereas someone like Monir or Anas or Tariq or these guys, you know, they're like a level 2 or 3 athlete. Whereas, hey, they have to have the foundation correct, and at the same time, they have to upregulate all those other things to achieve the necessary things they need to do for their sport, you know. So it's two different things. But the thing that I see most, you know, is people come in, like, I see there's a triangle, you know. This methodology that I'm telling you is like a triangle. The foundation, the few things that we can do to upregulate and improve certain things, and then the supplements. Whereas they come in the other way. They come in like, what supplements can I take to you know, make me I don't know, run you know, 100 meters faster than yesterday, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, hold on, like, you're telling me you're taking L-carnitine and bullshit chain amino acids, you know, I call them, yeah, and these things, but then you're eating burgers and fried chicken and I don't know what, you know. So what results are you expecting to get, my friend? You know, we have to look at it the other way. We have to build your foundation, and then later on, if you're looking to up your game, then okay, we can talk about the supplements and the other things, you know. And it's crazy, you know. And nutrition, there's a lot involved, you know. There's a lot we can do, you know. But first and foremost, my objective is to focus on the foundation, you know. You build a strong foundation with the nutrition, you know, in terms of what they're eating, how much they're eating, you know. Are they at a deficit or surplus? Is it is it detrimental to their body or is it helping their body, you know?
Yes.
And then we can later on look at other things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, as I said, you know, people here, they look for the
It's
acai
not the other way
power.
around. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. No, listen,
Acai of-
I completely, I'm on the same wavelength as you. I've went through my phases, and here's the thing. Sometimes I look back, like, man, if I wasn't so obsessed with figuring this out, maybe I wouldn't have done as many mistakes as I did. But then I wouldn't have learned as much as I did either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a double-edged sword. There's people that never worried their heads. They just ate the way they ate, and then eventually they got lucky and found somebody like you to manage their nutrition, so they started this journey correctly. But most people don't. They go fads. They start cutting shit. They go Atkins. They start eating these fucking polyol alcohol bars, replacing their meals and all this crazy shit. Like,
super juice diet.
man, it's terrifying. Like the shit. It's the amount of people you meet that are doing things so convinced of it, and deep down you know it's terrifying what they're doing to their body. It's crazy. It's just the industry is disgusting.
You know, it's funny because the same thing that you talked about here is the same message we can relay in terms of like what we talked about bullying, you know?
Okay.
So me, there's a lot of people, like I go online and I see the things they're doing. I think one of them was a friend of yours that you were training with, that I saw what he was doing and I was like, man,
okay,
come to me, let's talk.
Okay.
I said, I'm not, and a lot of people I don't even charge. You know what I mean? Because I see what they're doing, and I'm like, man, give me an opportunity to kind of change your mind.
Yes.
And I don't want money for that. I just want to show you that what you're doing is so harmful to your body. You know?
Yes.
And if we change the approach, then you will feel better. You will do better. You know, without having to really be so detrimental to your body, you know. And this is me doing my part, contributing to the community that gave me so much, which is martial arts, you know.
Yes.
Because a lot of the guys that I'm dealing with are like martial artists, you know, and jiu-jitsu and MMA guys and all that. And I started reaching out to just normal, like everyday people who just don't know what to do anymore, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you, a lot of people I'm not charging, you know, only because I genuinely see it being a problem. I don't want it to I don't want them to see what I went through to get there. You know,
it's terrifying.
If I stop it, then me as a human being, I've done my part. You know,
I respect it.
Society,
I respect that.
You know, I believe that I have a purpose now, and I see it clearer than ever, and it's to ensure that people don't suffer the fate that I suffered, you know, and there's nothing that I love more than the messages I get from people saying like, you changed my life, man. I'm so happy I met you. I'm so glad I listened to you. I'm so glad I took a chance on you, you know. And in some way I see it's the same kind of, well, it's not the same, but it's kind of the same way as the whole bullying message that we're saying is that we have to play our part. So if I see people out there being misinformed with all the fads and all that, I personally go after them, and not because and to be honest, I'll tell you, brother, man, alhamdulillah, I'm blessed with a good job. I make good money. You know, at the end of the day, not everything's about money, you know, as much as it is, it's not, you know. So if I can give back to the community in a way, as like, you can even say as a thank you for everything that is done for me, because I can, my career, everything that I have has been attributed to martial arts and this kind of lifestyle where I'm seeking out nutrition and this and that. So if I can give back to a community that's misinformed like I was and misled by all this nonsense, BS marketing campaigns online to make a buck for some guy who's probably, or girl who's probably not even following the same thing, you know.
True.
Then I know that I've done my part, you know, and this is for me more than enough, man. The thank yous, you know, the thank yous, the praises I get from people, man, like I swear it's worth more than money, you know,
I
to
love
me.
it. I love that
No,
message, man.
more than money.
If at the very least, you know, you save people a hospital trip, like it's very real. Sometimes when you're younger, and not all the time, you can get away with it. But as you get older, man, it's really a life or death situation. It is a life or death situation what you eat.
Exactly. It really is, man. Um, I've seen a lot of people around me, man, go suffer
Yeah.
from this, and
Yes.
the only thing I wish is I got to this earlier. Then I could have done my part for a lot of people who
A lot more to
now
come.
maybe not with us.
Yeah. Now, but I mean, there's a lot more to come that are going to benefit from you. And I hope people hearing you today and on this podcast will reach out to connect you. So how do people reach out to you if they want to get to learn more about you, about the nutrition that you do and all of this stuff?
At the moment, like I'm in the process of building a website,
Nice.
I'm planning to kind of launch it into a business. But
Sapateiro Nutrition.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
A lot of people mistake me with this Zapatero Invitational,
Oh,
So
okay.
they keep telling me, Zapatero Invitational now has a nutrition? It's not with one another.
Oh, no. Okay.
So on my Instagram handle, man, on my Facebook, Ahmed Zaki Ahmed or official_Zapatero, man, just reach out, man. I'm here to help. I'm here to talk. Eventually, am I creating a business out of this? Yes, I am.
Good.
But that's a whole nother thing. Like
Sure.
it's not with the message and the thing I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
That's a whole totally different thing. And if I can help one person, that if I've helped one person in this world, out of everyone I've tried to reach, then I've done my part, man.
I respect that, bro. And listen, you know what? If more people like you open businesses with the goal of helping, truly, genuinely helping, because, man, like this kind of media, people are learning something new. The business that you would plan to open is to actually truly help people with their nutrition. If we lived in a world surrounded by this, we'd be a lot better off, man, than this big major commerce and this kind of shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's I hope more people like me come out of this and
yes.
I'm not trying to sound cocky or whatever, but
no, not at all.
I hope more people like me come out of this and start to help each other, and it's not just in nutrition, it's in everyday life, it's in bullying, it's in situations, it's in jiu-jitsu,
support, emotional, physical.
And in sports here, there's a lot of politics and gym
all over the world
and all that. But alhamdulillah, I'm starting to see now more and more people are uniting, and people are coming together, and especially in sports, man. And you know what? We can be so happy that our sports are responsible for this, man. Peace through sports, peace through these things, and bringing people together and creating better future. Because our youth are going down a crazy path, man. And I really believe that us coming together, we're gonna be the answer.
I believe
to this future, and bringing everything as a whole. Bringing the world as a whole.
Yeah. We've gone through a lot in the last few months, and I definitely think we're gonna come out on the other end a lot better than we entered this mess.
Especially when we have people like you doing this, man.
As well, man. I appreciate you, and like yourself. I'm so happy we finally get to talk.
It's funny how we used to always talk on Instagram and
laugh
jokes together and all that, but we never actually sat down and spoke. And I just want to honestly say, man, like what you're doing is awesome, man. Just keep it up, because you're giving people a platform to share their experiences and this and that, and especially here where, as I said, that a lot of people are not known, and should be, because
they should be.
In the Middle East, people in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, man, they're doing great things, man, for the sport, for the world, for everything.
Yes.
But people don't have a platform, man, and people don't know, and things like this. This is awesome, because people
Inshallah, it changes it.
people are, you know, it's changing the game, man,
Yeah,
and
thank
much
you.
respect to you, man. Just
It's
keep
my honor.
doing what you do, bro. You know,
I
it's awesome.
appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I wish you a swift recovery with your knee, and I can't wait to get back to Dubai and train with all of you guys and have a
Bro,
good time on the mats.
as soon as my knee's better, bro,
Yes, yes.
we gonna roll, man.
My knee as well, man. I'm doing my own
love to
recovery.
train and learn from you also, man. You know.
100%, man. I appreciate you so
Yeah,
much.
man. Really, thank you for giving me the
My
time
pleasure.
of day. You know,
Thank you
it's
so
awesome.
much, Habibi. I appreciate you. Everybody on YouTube, I hope you guys enjoyed this incredible time with Ahmed Zaki, Mr. Sapateiro. And what's going to be the name of the nutrition? Can you tell us? Any ideas?
You guys will find out soon.
Okay, all right. All right, just go follow him.
I have something in mind, but I'm working with a certain company who's big on
Okay.
this branding, and
Nice.
also I can't not run it
I
by them
respect it.
or saying anything. You know, they kick my ass.
I respect it. You guys, on the description below, if you're listening to this on the audio form, in the description below, on YouTube below, go follow him, show him some love. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in.
Everyone reach out, man.
Yes.
I got all time of day for everybody. Any questions? No question is a stupid question for me. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Whatever it is, just hit me up, man. I've got the time of day for you all day, any day, man, guys.
My man,
Jiu-jitsu,
man.
MMA, whatever
I
you
love
want.
it.
Yeah, I'm here.
I love it. I love it. The man of many talents. I appreciate you, brother. Hang in there. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. Have an excellent weekend. Enjoy the hell out of it. And I'll see you guys next week. I'll share the lineup with you guys on Saturday. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and go check out Ahmed Zaki's official _Sapateiro on Instagram. Much love, everybody. Catch you later. Peace.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Habibi.